you can't choose who your family is and what you were born into, but you can choose how you communicate and the boundaries you set and how you love one another and how you show up in your family.
In both books, the journal and your memoir, your whatever you want to call it, your bestseller, you do talk a little bit about your parents and your brother and your family. And then in the journal, there's a prompt about family. And I think it's interesting for you to kind of talk about that, just because sometimes people might feel like guarded or like they can't kind of even reflect on that because like you can't choose your family and, everything like that. So can you talk to me a little bit about that and including that kind of, because I feel like that's something people don't necessarily talk about as much.
Mm-hmm. I mean, you can love your family and still know that there are things that can be triggering. There can be, a family is so, can cause a lot of people to feel like they can't, because we love our family, we're not going to say anything. Or like you said, you can't choose your family. But the way that we grow up is so pivotal to these patterns that we find ourselves in. So to kind of have a moment to look back on what your relationship like if you could write in words what your relationship is like with your mom or was like with your mom or your dad or your siblings, were your parents really involved in your life? Or they not? And to really just have it all on paper. And then you can kind of start to see where you can connect the dots of like some of the patterns that you might have in your life. And I think, the more I have gone to therapy, the more I've realized when I go back home, like when there's like this anxiety that I don't understand why it's creeping up, like it's not that I don't love my family, but there are in every family things that can be triggering or upsetting. And to know that so that you can be able to actually set boundaries with your family, be able to better communicate instead of continuing to build up these walls, I think is really helpful. And of course, wanted to put that in my journal because you can't choose who your family is and what you were born into, but you can choose how you communicate and the boundaries you set and how you love one another and how you show up in your family. And so I hope that those pages in the journal can really help because we all have family issues. Most of us all have some type of dysfunction in our family, and that's what makes us all unique. And it's something that can also be celebrated in the journal as well.
That's good. I saw that Christmas. The whole group was together, the brother, the fiance, everybody. Hannah, I got to ask, how was it? Are things good?
I just want my brother to be happy. And they are getting married and I will be there. And I just want to support my brother continuing to grow. And if they make each other happy, and I'm happy for them.
I mean, another prompt is about relationships, and you obviously have a boyfriend. What are the qualities that Adam has because you write about some qualities in there that you were looking for in a partner and that he has? What are some qualities that he has? And how did even doing a prompt like that, lead you to him? Does that make any sense?
Yeah. So that prompt I did, I think before I went on The Bachelor, I'm pretty sure. And in the journal, I put my own answers in there to kind of help people see an example, because sometimes I've had journals in the past and I'm like, wait, I start overthinking. I'm like, am I supposed to do this way or that way? Or what do they mean by that? And showing my prompts, I think it's a very humbling experience for me but also I think it helps other journalists realize there is no right way to do it. And I didn't rewrite the ones that I had done in the past. I put it in there as it was. And, that was almost 4 years ago. And so there's some things that I've always wanted in a partner. I wanted someone who had a hard work ethic, that was a great communicator, someone who I could trust And Adam has all those things. There is another prompt, which for some people, they're not in this stage of life, but for me, like things I love about my partner. And I think sometimes to be able to look back on those when times aren't like the best, or, everyone has moments in their relationship where it ebbs and flows, to be able to always look back on that list, I think is super helpful for anybody who's going to be doing this journal when they're in a relationship. But if you're not in a relationship, I think I have a lot of people ask me in my DMs, like, what do I do? Like, how do I get the guy? I just want to be dating someone. And it's like, I think it's a wonderful time when you are single and you have that time to like get to know yourself, but also have that time to figure out what you really want before you get into the like, the craze of it all when you first have, dating someone. Like, really make sure that you're clear of what you're looking for. And so I think that prompt is great for anyone that's wanting that in their life. So yeah.
I've talked to a lot of people when they get off The Bachelor or The Bachelorette, and a lot of times they tell me that something that they learned from the show was to slow down, because that show is such an accelerated format, which obviously and I wonder if there is a sense of pressure when you do get into a real life relationship or a more traditional relationship. Do you feel that pressure to do it like the Bachelor way, or do you do the opposite and you just want to go as slow as possible? What was your experience in that, specifically with Adam, I guess?
I think I am more like, I just want to take it day by day. And I'm so grateful for the relationship that I have. But people are always like, what's next? What are you doing? I'm like, I am just so happy and content where I am right now in my relationship. And not putting any pressure on what's next, which is, very different than, being on The Bachelor or Bachelorette.